Have you ever wondered what really happens when you stop chasing an avoidant partner or your ex? If your answer is yes, this video will completely transform the way you see love and connection. We often believe that we need to do more, love harder, and prove ourselves to be valued. But the truth is, the more you chase, the more you lose your emotional power. And that's why you feel exhausted, anxious, and stuck in the same cycle. In the next few minutes, I'll share a truth that will make you breathe easier. You don't need to hold on to someone to be loved. On the contrary, when you stop over-texting, stop over-explaining, stop proving, you not only regain your peace, but also create space for a healthy relationship or a sense of freedom you've never imagined. This is not about mind games or manipulation. This is a journey back to your true worth. Watch until the end, because I'll reveal why stopping the chase doesn't just change how they respond, but also heals the attachment wounds within you. If you're looking for confidence, peace, and balanced love, what you're about to hear could be a turning point in your life. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and never miss any content that helps you turn pain into inner strength. Ready? Let's dive in. Pause for a moment and be honest with yourself. Why do we feel the urge to chase when someone pulls away? The answer doesn't lie in theme, it lies in a deep-seated belief we've carried for years. I have to do something to be loved. If I don't act, I'll be abandoned. This isn't just a fleeting thought. It's the root of every desperate action, every long text explaining your feelings, every anxious call, every attempt to fix the connection. It's that inner voice, shaped by past experiences, where you felt you weren't enough unless you earned someone's approval. When they create distance, your instincts scream, "Do something or you'll lose them." Your body reacts as if facing a survival threat. Your heart races, your mind spirals, and you scramble to restore the bond, sending more texts, offering explanations, promising to change. But here's what you don't realize. Every action you take reinforces the false belief that I'm not enough, so I must work harder to be loved. This is the cycle of anxious attachment. It convinces you that doing nothing equals losing your worth. But the truth is the opposite. Chasing is what makes you lose your worth, not in their eyes, but in your own. Because every time you cross your boundaries to keep someone, you send yourself a message. Your needs don't matter, your peace is expendable, and their approval is worth more than your self-respect. What's worse, chasing doesn't just hurt you, it backfires on the relationship. When you pursue, they feel pressured, so they withdraw further. You panic and push harder. The result? An exhausting push-pull dynamic that erodes connection. This is the moment you must ask, why do I believe love has to be this hard? If that belief doesn't change, you'll repeat this pattern, whether with them or with someone new. Stopping isn't easy. Chasing has become your way to soothe anxiety. When you text and get even the smallest response, you feel temporary relief. But it's just a painkiller, not a cure. And like any drug, it breeds dependency and strips you of emotional control. What you truly need is not another strategy to make them care, but the courage to sit with yourself, to face the fear of abandonment you've been avoiding all along. And this is where the truth becomes undeniable. Chasing doesn't just exhaust you, it carries consequences far deeper than you realize. When you spiral into this pattern, every extra text, every desperate attempt to explain yourself reinforces a deeply rooted false belief. I'm not enough. I have to do more to be loved. Do you see what's happening here? You're placing yourself on the losing side of your own story, turning love, something meant to feel safe, into a battlefield for validation. This isn't just about beliefs. It shapes how you value yourself. Each time you override your personal boundaries to please someone, you send yourself a damaging message. My needs don't matter. My peace is negotiable as long as they stay. Slowly, you disconnect from your own voice, trading your sense of worth for fleeting reassurance from another person. The result? You lose yourself long before you risk losing anyone else. But here's the overlooked truth. Chasing is a form of avoidance. Strange, isn't it? We talk so much about avoidant partners, but when you're in pursuit, You too are avoiding emptiness, avoiding the terror of being left behind, avoiding the helplessness of not being in control. Instead of sitting with the discomfort, you spring into action. You text, you explain, you try to pull them back in. These actions give you the illusion of control, but in reality, they're nothing more than a distraction from the storm brewing inside. This is why the cycle grows stronger the more you chase. Every time you turn to the other person to calm your anxiety, your brain learns, oh, this works, let's do it again. And soon, it's like an addiction, an emotional painkiller that numbs the ache temporarily but never heals it. Worse, as with any dependency, you need more over time. When they pull away, which they often do under pressure you up the dosage, the result? Emotional burnout, a power imbalance in the relationship, and a growing disconnect from yourself. So let's call this what it is. Chasing isn't love. It's fear in motion. It's a survival strategy your mind adopted long ago, but one that no longer serves you today. You're not truly holding the relationship together. You're running from your own insecurity. And the cruel irony, the harder you try to control the situation, the more out of control you become, not just with them, but with your own emotions. This is the turning point. Understanding the nature of chasing, that it strengthens fear and false beliefs, gives you the power to break the cycle. And breaking it begins with stopping. I know that sounds terrifying, because stopping means facing the silence you've been avoiding. But here's the truth, that silence is where your real strength lives. It's the space where you rediscover your worth, where you start healing instead of hustling. And that leads us to the next crucial question. What really happens when you stop chasing? Because this isn't just about changing behavior, it's about reclaiming your life and transforming love into the safe haven it was always meant to be. Now, imagine the moment you decide to stop. No more frantic texts, no more long explanations trying to prove your worth. At first, it might feel empty, like you're standing at the edge of abandonment. But beyond that fog of anxiety lies a life-changing truth. When you stop chasing, you give yourself the chance to face, feel, and heal. This is the greatest benefit of stopping the chase. Instead of avoiding your emotions through action, you allow yourself to sit with the fears that have controlled you. Fear of abandonment, fear of not being enough, fear of losing connection. These feelings never disappeared when you were busy chasing. They were only covered up. When you stop, you're forced to confront them, and that's where real healing begins. You start asking, what I'm desperately seeking from others, can I give that to myself? As the answer becomes clearer, you step into a whole new phase, emotional independence. But the benefits go beyond the emotional. Stopping the chase sends a powerful signal to your nervous system. When you're in constant pursuit, your body stays locked in fight or flight mode. With cortisol flooding, your system draining you and fueling more anxiety. When you stop, you tell your brain, I'm safe. I don't have to fight for love. Your nervous system begins to regulate, your heart rate slows, your breath deepens, and you experience a peace you've long been missing. And this peace doesn't come from them returning. It comes from you returning to yourself. Here's the long-term magic. You reset your standards for love. When you stop chasing, you declare that love should never be built on pressure or fear, but on equality, respect, and mutual choice. You realize that a healthy relationship is one where you are seen and valued without sacrificing your inner calm. You begin asking, does this person meet my basic needs? Are they willing to show up like I do? And if the answer is no, you have the strength to walk away, not in anger, but in self-respect and grace. The fascinating part, when you stop chasing, your energy shifts. You no longer emit the signal of lack, but of fullness. This makes you naturally more magnetic, not as a tactic, but as a byproduct of your inner peace. Whether they notice and come back or not becomes irrelevant, because your worth is no longer tied to them. You become the authority of your life, and every choice you make flows from confidence, not fear. So remember this, stopping the chase is not a power game. It's an act of self-rescue. It's the declaration, I am enough, even if someone else doesn't choose me. When you live from that truth, you don't just heal old wounds, you open a future where love is no longer a battlefield, but a partnership between two whole people. And if you're wondering how to begin this journey, keep watching, because what's coming next will help you hold onto your heart, no matter who stays or leaves. Now let's talk about what most people are curious about. What happens to the avoidant when you stop chasing? This is an interesting part, but it needs to be seen clearly, because if you view stopping as a strategy to make them come back, you're still trapped in the same loop. The goal here is not manipulation. It's reclaiming control over your life. And when that happens, certain reactions from them often follow. At first, when you stop texting, stop explaining, stop trying to pull them close, they might feel relieved. Avoidants are often triggered by pressure or expectations, and every time you chase, it activates their fear of losing freedom. When you stop, that pressure disappears, and they feel less defensive. They no longer feel the need to run to protect their space. But then something interesting happens. When the familiar energy, the constant attention, the reassurance suddenly vanishes, the avoidant begins to notice a void. They were used to someone always being there, ready to give, ready to prove love. Now it's gone. And that makes them curious. What's happening? Why are they different? Are they moving on? This curiosity doesn't necessarily mean deep love right away. It's a reaction to the sudden shift in a dynamic they took for granted. For some avoidants, this silence becomes an opportunity for self-reflection. With the constant supply of reassurance gone, they can no longer avoid their fear of intimacy so easily. They're forced to sit with themselves, and sometimes that leads to genuine introspection. Why do I keep running? Am I about to lose something valuable? This can be the start of change if they're ready and willing to grow. However, not all choose this path. Many avoidants, when faced with that discomfort, will seek other ways to escape through work, hobbies, or even a new relationship. This may sound harsh, but it's not about your worth. It's about their readiness to face their inner fears. And this is why you must hold on to the most important truth. The focus is never on them, it's on you. Stopping the chase isn't about teaching them a lesson. It's about giving yourself back your power. If they reflect and return with an open heart, that could be an opportunity. But if they continue avoiding or disappear altogether, that only shows you the truth. You deserve a mature love or relationship that doesn't cost you your peace. And here's the most powerful reality. When you stop chasing, external outcomes matter less and less, because the real transformation is within you. You're no longer living in anxiety, waiting for their response. You return to a position of strength, where your emotions are not hostage to someone's attention or silence. That is the ultimate victory, not making them come back, but becoming the calm, strong version of yourself you've always wanted to be. If stopping the chase sounds like liberation, you also need to prepare for this truth. It won't be easy. In fact, the hardest part comes in the beginning. Why? Because you're removing a coping mechanism you've relied on for years, maybe even your entire life. Reaching out, explaining yourself, or seeking reassurance has been your way to calm anxiety. Now, when you stop, your brain and body react as if you've just ripped away the only life raft in the ocean. The first thing you'll experience is a spike in anxiety. Imagine choosing silence instead of sending that text. Immediately, your mind screams, if I don't say something, they'll forget me. They might be talking to someone else. Am I throwing this away? The urge to act will feel overwhelming, almost physical. This is normal when you strip away a survival strategy your nervous system knows well. Understand this. Discomfort doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're doing something new, and that's progress. And for this reason, you shouldn't do it alone. When anxiety peaks, you'll be tempted to justify a relapse. Just one text, just one explanation so they understand. But that one text can pull you back into the same cycle, like an addict taking a single hit and falling back in deep. That's why I call this process emotional detox. You're detoxing from the illusion of control, from the temporary high of a reply. And like any recovery, you need support, a trusted friend, a support group, or even a coach who understands attachment dynamics. Someone who can remind you why you started when you're about to forget your strength. Expect mental slip-ups. You might wake up at 2 a.m. desperate to check your phone or draft a long message in your head. Don't shame yourself for these thoughts. They're just old wiring firing up. Instead of acting, observe. Okay, I'm having this urge. It means I'm craving connection. How else can I meet that need right now? Maybe with a self-soothing routine, a call to a friend. This is how you turn a trigger into a moment of self-care, and it's one of the most powerful skills you'll ever learn. Remember, every time you ride the wave without braking, you're rewiring your brain. Think of it like building muscle. The more reps, the stronger you get. Day 1 will feel brutal. Day 7 will still sting. But by day 30, you'll notice a shift. And one day, you'll look back and wonder, why did I ever trade my peace for someone's attention? That's when you'll know the struggle was worth it, because it led you back to your power and to a heart at peace. Now it's time to underline the most important truth, a truth that can transform the way you see this entire journey. Stopping the chase is not a tactic to make them come back. It's not a power move. It's not about proving you're winning. Stopping the chase is an act of love and respect for yourself. This is the defining difference between manipulation and genuine healing. Why does this matter so much? Because if your underlying goal remains stop so they notice and return, you're still handing over your self-worth to someone else. You're still whispering to yourself, my value depends on their response. And that mindset will keep pulling you back into the same painful loop. So let this truth sink in now. You stop chasing to reclaim your power, whether they stay or go. You deserve a relationship where your basic needs are met, where you are seen, heard, and valued. That is not asking too much. It is the foundation of healthy love. If someone cannot or will not offer that, it's not a verdict on your worth. It's simply a reflection of their readiness. And that truth, once accepted, will set you free. And here's another vital reminder. Your anxiety doesn't mean you're weak or too much. It is a completely natural response when your need for connection isn't being met. Your nervous system is wired to seek safety through closeness. When you're met with silence or distance, your body interprets that as danger, because in the past, isolation meant survival was at risk. Understanding this allows you to drop the shame and meet yourself with compassion. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just responding to unmet needs. That awareness is the first step toward healing. Stopping the chase is not punishment or surrender. It's a conscious choice to build a life and love grounded in peace, not fear. It's a bold declaration. I don't have to lose myself to keep someone else. When you truly live from that truth, external outcomes, whether they come back or not, become far less important, because the real victory isn't getting someone back. It's reclaiming your emotional sovereignty, your self-respect, and your belief that you are in New Haven on your own. And here's the ultimate message. You don't have to chase love. You are love. You are the very value you've been searching for. And when you move from that place, you stop begging for validation and start attracting what is healthy and worthy. Let stopping the chase be your first step back home to yourself, a place where peace isn't conditional on who stays or who leaves. Take a moment and reflect on the journey we've just taken together. You now understand why you chase, the hidden costs of it, the profound benefits of stopping, what happens to the avoidant when you pull back, the early challenges you'll face, and the ultimate truth. You stop chasing not for them, but for you. So what's next? Choose yourself every time you feel that urge to text, to explain, to pull them closer. Pause and ask, is this action coming from love or fear? If it's fear, give yourself compassion instead. Call a trusted friend, take a deep breath, and remind yourself why you started this. Each time you resist that old impulse, you strengthen the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself. Remember this, you deserve a mature, balanced loved one built on equality, respect, and real connection. You don't have to chase to keep someone. True love doesn't come from begging for attention. It comes from two people freely choosing each other every day. If someone can't do that with you, it's not a failure, it's an opening for something better. And above all, you are enough. You have always been enough. Not when someone else validates it, but right now, in this moment, as you decide to stop sacrificing your peace for anyone's presence. The calm you crave isn't hiding in their reply, it's waiting for you to return to yourself and say, I'm safe, I'm worthy, I am the love I've been searching for. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and join me for future videos where we'll go even deeper into building healthy relationships from the inside out, starting with you. You don't have to chase love. You are love, and when you live from that truth, your world transforms in ways you never imagined. Start today.